Yeah, the Clippers, they just suck right now. They're not good. And the Mavericks are really good. They're making shots, their role players are making big shots, and Luka is doing, I don't want to say whatever he wants, but pretty much, especially in crunch time. Hey, it's Casey. Obviously, not too happy about the Clippers losing 6 playoff games in a row now. Actually, is it 5? 5 playoff games in a row now, and I was being blown up. I wasn't on Twitter last night, but a lot of people have messages for me, and I'm gonna read out a couple of them, and then we're gonna react to this. So let's see. Let's open up the Twitter. That's a lot of notifications. Oh my god. Okay. So, um, it is not loading yet. Who cares? So look, basically the Clippers. If you watched the Lakers Suns game, that was playoff intensity. That was urgency. That was players who are playing for their playoff lives and players who have toughness on both sides. Jay Crowder was in dude's face. Alex Caruso, like the fifth guy in the Lakers rotation, has more heart and more fight than the entire Clippers roster put together. I mean, they just have no guts. They have no intensity. And people have been telling me that all year long with the Clippers, but I guess I didn't want to believe it. I guess I didn't believe that a team with Rondo, Marcus Morris, and Patrick Beverly wouldn't have zero heart. Those 3 guys are like, they are heart, right? And so how could that be possible? I didn't want to believe it. But so far in 2 games, the Clippers have zero heart, they have zero fight, they have zero like backbone. You know what I mean? It's like they don't want it. It's like they're scared of it. It's like they couldn't be bothered to get up for the NBA playoffs. And that would lead me to believe that it all does stem down from the top, and that Kawhi and Paul George just aren't that kind of leader. And that, why do the Lakers have that kind of intensity and fight? Because they're led by a guy named LeBron James. And so even when they have, like, by the way, if you watched the Suns game last night, it was, I'm gonna create a moderator because I've noticed a lot of crap. Who wants to be a mod? Anyone? People are gonna watch this later. They don't care about mods. Let's see. Any moderator? Okay. I'm just gonna pick someone. Here we go. All right. Add moderator. Cool. We're done. All right. So look, yeah, I'm gonna add super facts as well. So yeah, look, it is just a 2-0 lead. Whatever. I mean, Kawhi's Toronto Raptors 2 years ago came back from down 2-0, I believe. Yeah, it was down 2-0. Last year, the Raptors came back from down 2-0 against the Celtics in the bubble, if you remember that. I did not gloat. I picked the Celtics over the Raptors, but I didn't gloat about it. And the Raptors forced to Game 7. So look, I'm not saying it's over. I'm just saying that how have the Clippers not waken up and given a crap yet? How have they not given a crap? Hello? You're at home. You can't lose at home like this. And it's not just that they've lost at home. It's now that they've lost 5 straight playoff games. They blew a 3-1 lead in the bubble, right? So they lost 3 straight games there, and now they've lost 2 more with all the talent in the world. So I'm the guy who is, the biggest Clipper believer, because I think, no, they've got too much talent. You guys are just reacting to a narrative that it's playoff P. Look, Paul George, if you look at the box score, he shot 1 for 7 from downtown, but he shot over 50% overall, which is great for a guy who plays from the perimeter, meaning he didn't have a bad day from the field offensively. And he was aggressive attacking the basket. But the problem was that when they cut the game to a 5-point game with a couple minutes to go, they didn't attack. I mean, that was the weakness of the Mavericks were susceptible to being drove on to the basket, and instead they just settled for jumpers. And instead of doubling Luka, they just had Patrick Beverley on Luka in crunch time. When you need to have Paul George or Kawhi Leonard on Luka in crunch time, Patrick Beverley, he's like at least a foot shorter than Luka. It was like, I mean, this is all on Ty Lue. It was like they were shooting themselves in the foot. Somehow they got it within 5 points, but then they didn't close the game. And that was, the book on them the entire season was that they're not a good crunch time team. Well, okay, that is rearing its ugly head here in the playoffs. And if they don't make these corrections, it'll be a sweep. It'll be a sweep with Kawhi Leonard and Paul George, and Kawhi can no longer, anyone can ever say that he's, the best player or any of that crap again. He's got to go out there and grab it, dude. Kawhi right now, I don't believe is fully healthy. That's fine. That's not an excuse. It's just not, it's like, Kawhi, I don't think wanted to have to guard Luka in these big games because it's a long playoffs. And I'm sure they thought that they could handle the Mavericks in this first round and have to ratchet up the intensity as the playoffs go along because Kawhi's got this injury. And, one thing that Nick Nurse said that he learned about Kawhi 2 years ago, Nick Nurse said, one thing I learned about Kawhi in the playoffs is that he'll tell you, hey, I got 5 minutes. I have 5 good minutes in me. So put me in whenever you want and I'll go 100%. So I think that Kawhi is doing that. He's trying to save himself. And so, that's it. And he didn't think he would have to. But guess what, dude? You have to. You guys have to do more on Luka. That's the thing is that Paul George played a good game in the box score sense, but in crunch time, he wasn't good enough. I'm not going to say playoff P or way off P or pandemic P or any of that stuff. Because you could say that about Zubats. You could say that about Marcus Morris, all those guys. But my point about Paul George is that, you guys got it within 5 with a couple minutes left. And instead of when he was one-on-one with Kristaps Porzingis, instead of driving around Porzingis, who doesn't move great laterally, you settled for a 3-point shot. Why? Be aggressive. It's like, go get it. But this is not a go get it team right now. I'm going to keep saying right now because the series isn't over. They're not a go get it team. They're not. With it when it was within reach, they didn't go out and get it. They didn't go out and take it. They just still were like, okay, we're going to settle for some shots like we're scared. But if you go watch the Laker game, they were getting themselves to the line. They were, rallying the troops. They were being aggressive when the whole arena in Phoenix was chanting down on them. And the Phoenix Suns took a lead and the Lakers took it back. Like, that's gnarly. Like, that is mental toughness. That's mental toughness when the other team, when you're up by like 20 or 15, I believe the Lakers were, when you're up by 15 in their building and their whole home crowd is chanting you on and they take a lead, normally mentally weak teams would crumble, right? But instead the Lakers rallied back and were up by like 10 with 2 minutes to go. Like, that is so playoff basketball. That is playoff mentality. That is championship mentality. I'm sorry, this Clippers team with their weak mindset, if they were in that situation and then the other team took the 1-point lead, they would crumble. And then the other team would all of a sudden have a double-digit lead. So that was my biggest takeaway last night, was watching the difference between the Lakers and the Clippers just from a mental standpoint. One's a mentally weak team, and the other one is a mentally strong team with a championship mindset, And we can break down the X's and O's, and we've talked about it, but it's just like, I think that's the bottom line. You know, the whole thing that informs the offense and the defense, I think, is their mindset, and they suck. This sucks. I know, Russell. Actually, Russell says my predictions are in the mud right now. We'll see. It's early on all the other Russell. I think it's a little too early on all the other series, but for the Clippers, I think it's pretty clear. They are weak. Where's playoff Rondo now? Well, here's the deal. You know, playoff Rondo was playoff Rondo last year because he was surrounded by some really good players and some really tough players. Mavs in 6, you know what? Mega Droid X, why not? Actually, you know what? Mavs in 6. If the Clippers win 2, you know, it's I think that the Clippers, if the Clippers could figure out how to win 2 games in this series, I think they would have figured something out, right? Now, notice how I'm not totally jumping off the bandwagon yet. Can Kawhi go to Golden State in a sign and trade? Yes. Yes. Kawhi could go to Golden State in a sign and trade. Clippers to the Warriors, but Kawhi wouldn't go to the Warriors, guys. Stop saying that. Stop. No. Why? Hold on. Why is everyone right now talking about Kawhi to the Warriors? Like, where did that? Did I miss something here? What are you talking about? Somebody, you're all saying Kawhi to the Warriors. Tell me what, guys. Also, Kawhi's probably not going to leave. I understand Kawhi is a free agent. I get that. But, okay, I'm going to address this because apparently this seems to be a big deal. I thought you guys all knew this. Adrian Wojnarowski leaked that he thinks, and from what he's hearing, Kawhi's a done deal, dude. He's going to stay a Clipper. He has had a good relationship with his teammates, with management, and with ownership. And, of course, he loves being in Los Angeles. And he's not going to go to the Lakers, so his only choice is to stay a Clipper. That's it. I think if anything, there would be if any big changes are going to happen. So, guys, no, Kawhi is not going to be a Golden State Warrior. Stop it. Stop. By the way, today is off-season Wednesday, and the Warriors off-season is today. So I think you guys are really going to like that video. So, you know, no, Kawhi is not going to be a Warrior. Like, that's just get that out of your mind right now. So Kawhi is going to stay a Clipper. The question is, will Paul George remain a Clipper? That's the question. And who would they, you know, trade with? I don't know. You know, Paul George did not get a no trade clause. He got a lot of things, a lot of years, a lot of money, but not a no trade clause. They would be selling low on Paul George, no doubt. But yeah, that's the only guy I would be worried about. But right now, look, bottom line, the Mavericks just look like the better basketball team because they're getting more out of their players mentally. They are in a win now championship type mode. And so, you know, pound for pound, do the Mavericks have more talent? No, they don't. Kristaps Porzingis is you know, he's a number 2, but he's not playing like a number 2. I would say that the number 2 on that team right now is Tim Hardaway Jr. You know, last night, Kristaps, he had 20 points, but Tim Hardaway had 28 points. So that's my whole point. Angus, by the way, yes, we're taking super chats this morning. Angus says Kawhi to the Raptors. No, Kawhi's not going. No, it's basically a done deal. You know, Kawhi, I would be shocked if Kawhi left the Clippers, guys. So just stop wondering where Kawhi's going. He's not going anywhere. And then, you know, Lumen is saying Mavs to the Western Conference Finals. Dude, you know what? Let's look at the Mavericks. I'm gonna type in right now NBA bracket, and we're gonna look at the Mavericks road. And by the way, if the Mavericks can beat the Clippers, which it looks like it, and of course I typed it in, and here it is. Thank God. Okay, so right now the Clippers would face the winner of Utah-Memphis, and then they would face. The Mavericks would face the winner of Utah-Memphis, and then in the conference finals, they would face the winner of either Denver, Portland, Phoenix, or the Lakers. So we're going to think it's the Lakers. So a Mavericks-Lakers conference finals. I'm sorry, but I think that would be a Lakers trip back to the finals. And why? I think it's because by that time the Lakers would really be rolling. The Lakers didn't really want to have to wake up for the playoffs. LeBron James always says that he uses game ones as a feel out game. Okay. And that's what happened game one against the Suns. LeBron was feeling it out. And by feel it out, here's what I mean. I think that LeBron always wants to know, how much am I going to have to assert myself in this game? Because LeBron's a pass first guy, right? So I think LeBron always wants to know, how much do I have to get up for my teammates and get them involved? Like, what is going to be the right mix of me dominating the offense and sharing the offense with them? And so he has to figure that out in a game one. So LeBron did that in game one against the Suns. And that's why you saw the Lakers take like a 20-point lead. That plus Chris Paul only played like 12 minutes. That's always going to help, right? And so I think that the Lakers, by the time they got to the conference finals against the Mavericks, they would have won a series against the 2-seeded Phoenix Suns and, probably the 3-seed Denver Nuggets. It could be the Blazers, whatever. But winning back-to-back series, I think that the Lakers would be in championship mode, and it would be really hard. It'd be one thing for Luka and the Mavericks to beat the weak-minded Clippers and then the 1-seeded Utah Jazz, but to beat a LeBron James in championship mode, having reached the conference finals again, is a totally other thing. I think that it would be an amazing accomplishment for Luka and the Mavericks to make the conference finals. So don't get greedy, Mavs fans. If you make it, that's awesome, but I don't think that you would beat the Lakers. Okay, Duds N says, all NBA fans keep underestimating the Mavs. The roster is filled with hustle guys and elite three-point shooters. So, dude, and we're gonna get to Angus here, but I gotta disagree here, Duds. They're not filled with elite three-point shooters. They are filled with hustle guys. Like Jalen Brunson was one of the top 6 men of the year. Tim Hardaway Jr., one of the top 6 men of the year, and Kristaps Porzingis is okay, and I'm always concerned about his health, but his defense has fallen off. They're not filled with elite three-point shooters, but right now they are filled with the hustle guys who have a winning mentality. And when you have that, like they do, you can maximize your talent. And right now, the Clippers are maximizing their talent. They are. They're taking what they have on that roster around Luka, and they are maximizing it. And I love it, dude. I love to see it, okay? I know that I picked the Clippers. I'm from Texas. My parents live a few miles away from the AAC where the Mavericks play. It's not like I hate the Mavericks or anything, but they're getting all they can out of them. All right, so Angus super chats. Remember this, Casey. Portland will upset Denver in 7. Dude, Angus, the way that they played in game one, I am right there with you. But Angus, what I would be concerned about is, by the way, we're gonna do one of these playoff recaps in the morning more often. This is just too much fun. We're gonna do this more often. Maybe we should do this like something like that. I don't know. Anyway, so you know what, dude? I think that if Michael Porter Jr. wakes up the way he did in game 2, and Yusuf Nurkic fouled out in what was it, like 21 minutes? I forget what it was, but they did have, a tough set of circumstances. The Blazers did in that game too. So we'll see. I think a lot depends on tonight, Angus. We're talking about a game 7. Let's wait tonight to see, because if the Denver Nuggets just needed that first game to kind of get the playoff jitters and they start to roll, like, you could take that back by the end of tonight, depending on how it looks, right? Like, for example, Angus, these people who are telling me, oh, yeah, the Heat almost won that game. They had a bad game, but they took it to overtime. That's a good sign. Like, all those people backing the Heat after that game too, and sitting really after the series like gets settled in, those people are no longer so loud. So let's just wait for this game 3 to see how the Blazers and the Nuggets look before we start calling a game 7. No, the Heat won't win. I get it. So are the Mavs legit contenders? No, the Mavs are not legit contenders. The Mavs right now are getting all they can out of their role players, and the Mavericks are playing against a team that A, is just mentally weak, and B, has a horrible defensive game plan. In crunch time, they were putting Patrick Beverley one-on-one with Luka Doncic. Guys, the entire defensive narrative out of game one was that why is Kawhi Leonard not on Luka Doncic? And then Ty Lue comes out and says, oh, well, hey, you might get your wish in game two. No, it was Patrick Beverley, a dude who's like a foot shorter. And it was clear he could not contain Luka. And Luka wasn't settling for jump shots. You saw that, right? What was Luka doing? He was driving to the basket with Pat Bev, like backing up. It's like, dude, try something different. And so Luka would get whatever he wanted every single time down the court. And on the flip side, what did you see? You saw Kristaps Porzingis on Paul George, and it was a 5-point game. And instead of going around Kristaps Porzingis, because KP can't really guard that well laterally on the perimeter, Paul George settles for a jump shot. Stop. That's not aggressive. That's weak. It's on the flip side, the worst defensive game plan against Luka. So Ty Lue is screwing this game. And well, Terrence Mann, Jeremy, okay, we'll get to that in a second. But my point is that I don't think the Mavericks have championship potential. I think that they're just exposing the Clippers right now. They're exposing the Clippers for what they are, and that sucks. Because, obviously I didn't think so. Now, the series isn't over, so let's see. But that sucks. So, a Greek name that I can't pronounce says, what you saying makes sense, but you forgot that this year is birth of new goat. Yeah, you're right, man. I did forget that. You guys are hilarious. Okay, a 20-minute live stream in the morning just to get this stuff off of our chest because I wasn't on Twitter and I woke up with a million different notifications. Where are you, Casey? Revenge season for the Clippers, LMAO. As an unbiased Mavs fan, I want to say we're winning this series. It's just one game, LMAO. Yeah, people are sending me memes. It's just bad. Dang, what a cornball, someone calls me. I should have been on Twitter last night. I'm sorry, guys, but yeah, it is what it is. So, guys, we're gonna do these live streams more often. I'm gonna post in the community tab what the schedule is going to be because I want to let you guys, have it to me. You know what? I wish we had the feature that IG Live has where you guys can be in the stream. Like, why can you guys not be in the stream on YouTube? This is so stupid. I should be able to bring one of you guys on the stream and you guys yell at me and then we argue and it would be fun. Maybe we do this on IG. You guys need to follow AM Hoops on Instagram. Follow at AM Hoops on IG. Boom. And then how do I pin my own comment? All right, boom, pin message. So look, I'm not like trying to like boost my IG followers right now or anything, but like I think it would be fun during the game or before the games if we do this and you guys like come on and we argue. That would be a lot of fun. All right, so that's it. I'm gonna post make a Discord. I have a Discord able for members only. Okay, guys. Adios. We'll do this more often. This was too much fun not to do again later.